Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for our championship review and reaction for round 15. Thank you for those people who are joining us live here at 12:30 on a Sunday. Clocks have gone back, 3-game week. I'm doing Blue Monday podcast tonight. So needs must, let's just say. My apologies if this caught you unaware, if you're expecting it at 7 p.m. like it normally is. But hey-ho, what we're going to do. Please get involved. We're going to go through every game, every goal, every team, as we always do. And I'd love to get your feedback, especially people who were at the game. But we have an open door policy on opinions. So please give yours down there in the comments. Have your say, share your knowledge, drive the debate. I'll try and read as many as I can. Try and focus on the game we're talking about to maximize the possibility of yours getting read out. Before we go any further, just hit that like button. Try and draw some more people across to our stream here. And make sure, if you haven't already, hit subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. 19,700. We are gradually getting up to 20,000. If you want to support, you can financially via Super Chat and Super Stickers. Hit that dollar button right next to where you leave your comments. Let's say some hellos in a second. We just give a quick shout out first off to our fan sponsor, who is Russ. Was a foe and now a friend, currently on loan to the Premier League for a year. Good old Russ and his Norwich team need a win. If you're watching after the fact, you'll know the result there. Kicking off in about an hour and a half here. Thank you to Russ. Let's say some highs in the chat to Callum, Thomas, Damien, Leeds 2021, Mr. E, Ewan, QPR Forever, Annie, Owen, Oliver, Tommy, Aston Boys. I'm here from Ant's live stream. There you go. Thank you, Ant, who we met yesterday at Leicester. All good fun. Stephen, welcome. John, Balboa, Guy, Phil, VGA Channel, David, Lenny, Amy, Tommy, thanks for the early stream. You're very, very welcome. Hey, look, if the numbers are good, we'll keep it. We'll always give the audience what they want. Hi to Jonathan. Callum, I think we already said hello to. Dan, I've nearly done them all here. Connor, Craig, Callum, Luke, Wayne, Fulham 58, and Alistair. Right, we're there. Shall we get into this then? Round 15 in the Championship yesterday. Here are your score lines. It was on Friday night on the watch along. QPR 1, Forest 1. Early kickoff, big game, second versus third going into it. Fulham 3, West Brom 0. Hallelujah, say the Bristol City fans. Bristol City 2, Barnsley 1, Derby 1, Blackburn 2. These are all the 3 PMs now. Huddersfield 1, Millwall 0, Hull 0, Coventry 1, Boro 0, Birmingham 2, Preston 2, Luton 0, Sheffield United 0, Blackpool 1, Stoke 3, Cardiff 3, Swans 3, Posh 0. And then at 8 p.m., the amazing run for Bournemouth continues. Reading 0, Bournemouth 2. So that's where we'd better go first then, hadn't we? Right up to the top of the table. And yet another win for Bournemouth, who are just storming the division at the moment. And they are 9 points, before we're barely halfway through the season, 9 points clear of third place. I know we had a vaguely similar situation with Leeds and West Brom a couple of years back, 19-20 season, where they were miles clear by December, weren't they? I wonder if we're going to get something similar. Ultimately, it looked like it closed up, but those two did end up going up. And, we'll parlay Fulham into the conversation in just a sec, but we got to focus on Bournemouth and their just brilliant form. And it was Reading 0, Bournemouth 2, 9 wins in 10. That is sensational from Bournemouth. And also this defence now is just getting laughably good. 0.53 goals conceded per 90 for Bournemouth. Absolutely sensational there. Dominic Solanke now on 11 goals in his last 13 games. I suspect Mr. Solanke and Mr. Brereton Diaz think their form's good until they look at Mitrovic. But again, that's not the conversation now. The conversation is Reading 0, Bournemouth 2. There is the Bournemouth team. Travers in goal. Stacey, Cahill, Kelly, Zamura, Lerma, Kilkenny, Billing, Christie, Solanke, Anthony. Nice and settled. And 15 undefeated streak across the first 15 games. Brilliant from Scott Parker. For Reading, it's going to be a third defeat on the bounce for the Royals, who were in really nice nick, weren't they, up into this recent run, which, no, it's not just back from the international breaks, one game after, but since then they've tailed off, unfortunately. Southwood in goal for the Royals, Yidam, Moore, Dan, Rahman, Laurent, Drinkwater, Deli Bashiru, Swift, Ejaria, Puskas. They're nearly a fully fit team there. I'm sure they'd like Lucas Zhao or Yaku Maite in up top maybe to get some goals, but yeah, they're not around at the moment. Get your comments in on this one here. It's the opener. Really well worked free kick, I think, or corner rather. I think we've called this for a while a Jake Cooper or an Ethan Pinnock. Look at Gary Cahill on his own, back post, the best header probably there. Nods it back across the box, and Solanke is just, as I say, 11 goals in 13 games in brilliant form. Bit of a giveaway, you have to say, for the second goal. Caught in possession there. Reading, Jamal Lowe. You're playing well when your subs are coming on and scoring as well. First world problems for Scott Parker there. And I don't know whether Liam Moore should get the block on that. I think it goes right through his legs, doesn't he? And Lowe curls it into the far corner. But, hey, what are you going to do at the moment against Bournemouth? There are the numbers. And, I mean, look how decisive Bournemouth are. Those numbers aren't anything to write home about. I know we put game state into the conversation, but 9 shots to 8 to Reading, 6 corners to 5 to Reading, 1 big chance apiece. But they're just controlling it at the moment, Bournemouth, aren't they? And I'll say it again, 9 wins in 10 is just an outstanding run of form. 5 clear at the top. That doesn't matter quite as much as that 9-point gap now between Bournemouth and West Brom. Reading, 3 straight defeats now. And given how ridiculously tight it is, that means you drop in 5-10 places, doesn't it? So we'll see how Reading bounce back from that. And we will get into the comments here. What shall we say? Finn, Reading looked quite good in the first 30. They didn't give us many chances, but we were clinical. And you never concede any goals, Finn. Just a superb defensive record. Alex, Bournemouth are on track to beat Reading's 106 points. I haven't done the points per game. Do you know what? Should we do it right now? I'm just reaching up to my iPhone up here. 37 divided by 15 equals 2.46 points per game times 46. 113 points Bournemouth are projecting. So Alex is right. We'll park that conversation for about 2 months' time. But, yeah, can't argue with the numbers, can you? Mr. E, Reading started the brighter. Would have been ahead if they had an informed striker. Totally agree with that. Bournemouth gradually took control, though, largely untroubled. Exactly. They're just controlling games at the moment, Bournemouth, aren't they? Stephen, running out of pleasantries for Bournemouth. Me too. Yeah, what else can you say? Storming it is another one we can use. Parker must have a nosebleed. Absolutely. Good performance in the first half, says Alistair. Owen, Bournemouth and Liverpool, the only 2 undefeated sides in the 19. Brilliant. Mr. Teagues thought Reading were really good at pressing us. Best we have played at that. Only game I can imagine Bournemouth losing is against Fulham. I mean, look, that's the way it looks. Bournemouth will lose. This division is so hard, but you can't. You can't say fairer than 15 unbeaten and only 4 draws as well in that. Sensational. What else are we saying? Hello from the N25. Welcome, Ollie. Amy, can't wait to play the big Bournemouth. Well, is that soon? Good luck. Right, what else have we got? Quickly, Tommy Parker making intelligent stubs, bringing on Pearson when the game got more physical and the inform low as a super sub. I mean, you say inform low. Christie's not playing badly, and neither is Anthony the other side. Annie watched the whole game. Bournemouth never in trouble. Cahill cigar on, yeah. Cherry's very clinical. Quality difference between Puskás and Solanke. I think the Reading fans will say quality difference between Puskás and Maite or Zhao as well. Any more for any more? Jack, not worried about the gap between Albion and Bournemouth as Bournemouth are running away with it. Concerned about the gap between us and Fulham. We'll get onto that, which is 4 points. Now, watch out, Bournemouth. Fulham are coming to get you. We will get to that. Can't wait to play Bournemouth on... Oh, it's on Saturday, is it? That's the game, Damien, that Amy was talking about. Interesting. Gap between Baggies and Bournemouth is getting a little worrying, indeed. We'll come on to them. Great stuff, you lot. And it was the 12:30 kickoff between Fulham and West Brom. Big game and a big win for Fulham. Get your comments in this one. I was out and about, so I didn't see it. So I'm relying on you lot. I'm sure plenty of you watched all of this on Sky Sports. And it was Fulham 3, West Brom 0. And just when you think Mitrovic's goals per minute can't get any more ridiculous, just when he's gone past more than a goal per game, he's going to score a hat-trick in this one. Mitrovic just in utterly imperious form now. 18 goals in 15. It's just sensational. I did a bit of digging. Lee Hughes got to 20 in 18 games in 98-99. Ivan Toney, slow coach, 16 in the first 19 for him last season to get to 31. Talk about what sort of numbers Bournemouth are going to put on. What sort of numbers is Mitrovic, if he stays fit, going to put on? Looks well on course for 30 if he avoids injury, and Fulham just stay in reasonable form. But they're in rude form in front of goals. 2.4 goals per game. 2.4 goals per game. Sensational from Fulham. And they are well above 2 points per game now as well. 32 from 15. And there's a few commenters have mentioned as well. 4-point gap now. A lot of talk about a 3-horse race, another parachute cartel this season. But important win this one. And you look at those last 5 games. Bournemouth have got 15. Fulham have got 12. West Brom have got 6. So, yeah, on little runs like this, the gaps open up for sure. Mitrovic a goal every 73 minutes. Let's have a look at the teams in this one. Rodak in goal for Fulham. He's got that shirt now over Gazzaniga. Adoy, Adrabio, Ream, Robinson. Harrison Reed, Seri. Wilson, Bobby Reed, Cabano. And the main man, Mitro, up top. West Brom, Johnston in goal. Ajayi, Bartley, Clark. Townsend, Furlong. Livermore, Snodgrass, still no Moa. Phillips, Grant. And Hugo looks like he's got the shirt now. I think he started the last couple of games. Callum Robinson is the one that sort of misses out because of that. Let's have a look at the goals. I don't want to have another long penalty decision, but that one looks a bit harsh, doesn't it, on Kyle Bartley. Just prods the ball away from Mitrovic. I suppose you can argue you can win the ball and still foul the player. That's not my opinion on this one. A few of you guys brought up the term in Formula One, a racing incident. I would call that a footballing incident. In winning the ball, you can touch a player and not foul them. But there you go, penalty given. And of course, Mitro slots that one in. Horrible mistake by Snodgrass for this one. Wrong guy to, well, look, probably most of the Fulham front four are the wrong guy to give it to. And Mitrovic just runs through and pokes it past England's Sam Johnston. Silly dive in there by Darnell Furlong. And I think the referee does get this one right, I have to say. Look at the direction of the ball. Wilson has just poked that inside, and Furlong's challenging from the other way and clearly takes down. Wilson, denial of obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Red card. I think if that was in the box, he'd get away with a yellow card on that one because of the ruling that says deliberate attempt to play the ball. But he's not, and off he goes. I don't know how long that ban will be. It's not serious foul play. It might only be one game. Someone smarted me up in the chat on that one. Wilson then sets up Mitrovic for the hat-trick. Boom, 18 in 15. And do you know what? The referee probably gets this one right as well. Adrabio wins a lot of balls like that because simply his physicality is so good and he's got such long legs. But read those serious foul play rules, endangering opponent, lunging in from back or side, and he really catches him. So, and especially when there's a penalty gone against West Brom and a red card, you know the red card's coming out for that one. And that will be a serious foul play, won't it? So that will probably be 3 games unless there's any kind of appeal. I wouldn't imagine there would be. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on that lot. The numbers, yeah, it's heavily... no, it's not. Actually, no, I take that back. 54-46 on the possession. 15 shots to 11. 7 corners to 4. But, from an XG point of view and a chance quality, 5 big chances to 1 in Fulham's favour says a lot. And, maybe it's mistakes. Maybe it's penalty boxes. Maybe it's a slightly dubious penalty call. But it's a comfortable win in the end for Fulham, who are going great guns. 32 points. You know, we do all the calculations here. And generally speaking, last 10 years, 1.85 points per game gets you automatic promotion. Of course, you could get a 3-horse race and a high tide. We'll see. That a lot depends now on West Brom and their ability to chase, doesn't it? So, and the Baggies dropping below the 2 points per game. Look at that, Coventry within 1 point. 3 defeats in 5 for West Brom. That's not good form. And as I mentioned, looking at those last 5 games, Bournemouth have taken 9 points advantage in 5, and Fulham have taken 6 points advantage in the last 5 over the Baggies. Let's have a look at some comments here. What are we saying? Here we go. Where's the first comment? Goodness me, sorry, I can't find him. I've scrolled up too far. There we go. Teams love giving Mitrovic goal. Well, he still knocks the chances in. 18 goals already. Ban him, please. Give the rest a chance. There you go. Mitro, the championship beast. Shocking refereeing performance, but to be fair, we would have lost anyway. Yeah, well said, Jack. Big gulf in quality between the two sides. Craven Cottage, a very nice ground go-to mind. Absolutely. Mitro was clinical, but it played into his hands. West Brom were very sloppy, gifted the goals, but happy we won. Never saw it coming. West Brom didn't turn up. Fulham looked well up for it and well in control. Damien thought the pen and the West Brom red card was so harsh. I think the penalty was harsh. So, I think it's a denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity by Darnell Furlong, isn't it? But there we go. Other opinions are allowed. Shocking decision for the ref for the penalty. Would you say Fulham are a one-man team? No, I wououldn't at all. No, just because you've got one player who's very good doesn't make you a one-man team. I'm not saying you're saying that. AFC Bournemouth, Germany. You could say that about Argentina winning the World Cup. You could say Thierry Henry was massively responsible for, Arsenal's output under Wenger, etc. But yeah, not necessarily a one-man team. Wilson and Mitrovic link up incredibly well. Let's move on. Never a pen, but that Snodgrass mistake kills the game for the Baggies. Unless Bournemouth and Fulham suddenly drop off a cliff, I'm struggling to see Baggies muscling the top 2. But Solanke is the best striker. Oh, come on. They're both playing brilliantly, Colm. They're both excellent strikers. It's not a zero-sum game. More than one team can have a good striker. A bit of a reality check. Never a penalty. I mean, I don't really get on this red card for Furlong how it can be a soft red. If it's a foul, it's a red because it's denied the obvious goal scoring opportunity. So that is kind of binary, isn't it? Wilson is clear on goal. So it's either a red or it's not. It's not a hard red or a soft red. It's either a red or it's not. There's no real subjectivity. Only that is it a foul or not? And if it's a foul, it is a red, according to the laws. There we go. Loads of other comments here. And let me read that one. I strongly disagree with you over the red card. I thought the West Brom player got the ball before the player. I don't. Again, like I say, other opinions are available. Where's my screenshot? I know a screenshot never tells a lot. I watched it a few times. Furlong slides in from the right to the left. Wilson comes from the left to the right. I mean, even if he does get the ball, is he not still now taking Wilson out in a obvious goal scoring position? So it might even be a moot point. If you poke the ball 2 yards and then you take the player out and you've gone to ground and he hasn't, still denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity by a foul. So I wouldn't get too caught up in, who touches the ball first. Look at where it's gone. And then he does clearly take him out, doesn't he, afterwards? You can't win the ball and then take the player out and it not be a foul. You can win the ball and there can be fair contact and maybe a sort of coming together. But that looks like the wrong picture. That looks like a clean out to me, if you look. But there we go. We can debate all day. As one of the West Brom fans said, the game didn't decide on refereeing decisions, especially after the Snodgrass mistake and the third goal. Is what it is, isn't it? But good spirited debate as ever in the chat. Let's move on to game number 3, which was Hull 0, Coventry City 1. And I think this is one of the rare occasions I actually got the scoreline right on the Football 365 predictor game. Hull are goal shy. Coventry aren't great away from home, but we thought they might have enough to win this one. And they did. Get your thoughts in on this one. Hull 0, Coventry 1. Only a second away win of the season for Coventry. First win in 4 as well. But we said about Coventry and about teams like Coventry who have really, really good home records, you don't have to be that great away from home to be up near the top of the table. If you're the best home team in the league, which Fulham have overtaken, but they've played a game more now, Coventry are the 15th best away team in the table, but they're the 4th best team overall in the league. So we said that a few times. If Coventry can maintain anything like their home record, they don't have to be incredible away from home if they're incredible at home, which they are at the moment. Here are your teams there for Hull. Interesting, Hull put a message out on their website earlier. The club is in due diligence for a sale. So maybe there might be some good news there, of course, depending on who the owners are and what they're going to do. But there you go. Ingram in goal for Hull, Emmanuel Bernard, Greaves, Elder, Moncur, Smallwood, Cannon, Doherty, Eves, and Lewis Potter. A new look. No Honeyman and McGuinness and Wilkes in that one. So he's trying, McCann, to find something there. Not succeeding at the moment, sadly. For Cov, they know what their first team is, don't they? Moore in goal, Hyam, McFadzean, Clark, Salter, Matson, Darbo, Hamer, Sheaf, O'Hare, Godden, and Gyökeres. Here's the goal here by Matt Godden. I tweeted this picture out earlier. I said, is that the lowest header ever scored? And someone did send me, it was Stuart actually from one of the Ipswich journalists, did send me a goal by Andy Gray, which probably was a lower header in the 80s. Martson with the cross and Godden nods that one in. A few Hull fans a bit disappointed by the organisation and defensive shape there, given that's just a cross popped in from the left-hand side. And that was all it took. Go figure. Hull are scoring at a rate of 0.6 goals per game. So it would stand to reason you only need to get one to beat them this season on most occasions here. The numbers look decent, don't they, for Coventry? 51-49 the possession. You see 4 shots to 3 for Hull, 8 corners to 4 for Cov, 2 big chances to 1. Again, game state tells us, like, I don't know when those shots happened or the quality of them in terms of Hull. But, hey, most important stat, as ever, is the one across the top. And that said, Hull 0, Coventry 1. Coventry, as I suggest, if you've got a fantastically good home record, you only need the 15th best away record in the league to be up in 4th. Great job there. And, if you look at the previous 4 games, and it was only 5 points. Now, 8 points from, it's 5. 8 points from the last 5 now looks more like the sort of form that will sustain a playoff push. And I think the door's open, isn't it? We've got our parachute cartel on the top, and, no disrespect to any of these teams. Coventry, Huddersfield, Blackpool. It's open. There could be an unlikely team, stature-wise, considering what we thought at the start of the season, finishes in the top 6. Could it be Coventry? Probably not going to be Hull, who have got 9 points from 15 games. They are in abject, dreadful form. 3-point gap opened up. 1 win in 14 for Hull. And it's very simplistic sometimes, football. I know we overcomplicate it with stats. 9 goals in 15 games. You can see the only side there in the table on single figures. You're just not going to win many games sticking the ball in the net that infrequently. Let's have a look, see what you guys are saying on this one here. Lenny, who's always at the game, he's at every game for Hull. Is there a bigger downgrade in football going from Andy Robertson to Callum Alder? Maybe, maybe not. Created nothing, and Coventry picked up their most comfortable win. 3 points. Comfortable 3 points for the season. 15 points from 105 in the Championship. Ouch. Thomas' performance wasn't fantastic. Result was all that mattered. Godden on fire, 3-3. Hopefully we can back it up next game. Keep the pressure on the parachute teams. You have my best wishes and good luck with that, given all the extra resources they may be able to afford. Again, for Coventry, I wouldn't worry too much about the parachute teams. Judge them against the teams in the same stratosphere, and Coventry are doing brilliantly, aren't they? Matt, afternoon, fella. Perfect game for Cov to sort away form, indeed. Worrying for the toothless Tiger. Coventry had loads of chances in both halves. Couldn't put them away. Mr. E. Hull's next 2 games. Away at West Brom. Ouch. Good luck with that one. Away to Barnsley. Interesting. Very interesting. Coventry, 8 points from 8. 8 points from 8 away from home. Yeah, it will need more than that. Look, no one's expecting Coventry to... I mean, what is their home form? Is it like 7 wins from 8? 6 wins from 7. There will be a small regression, you would think, in Coventry's home form. So they probably need to move, to 1.2, 1.3 points away from home. But again, the mere fact we're talking about a Coventry playoff challenge is sensational, isn't it? Nathan, great result, decent performance, although second half was a little shaky. 2 home games in a row, so 4 or more. And I would be very happy, absolutely. And history says you'll get 4 or more, given the home form. Connor, I know Gyökeres is bagging... Oh, is it Coventry and Swansea on Tuesday? Yeah, there you go. Get over to betfair.com on that one. Perfect game for Cov to sort away form. Out already survived. Yeah, and that's the big picture for Coventry as well. They've already got 27 points, for God's sakes. How long did that take last season? Probably around 27 games, I would have thought. Hull looking every inch a League One team. They missed a lot of chances, but win is very important. Coventry for Premier League 22-23. Well, they're doing fantastically, aren't they? 18 points from survival. Again, yeah, superb from Cov as well. Finally, another away. We didn't play our best. Hull offered nothing. Much needed 3 points. Going into our last 2 games before the international break. Yeah, and can they stay undefeated at the CBS there? Damien, what's the highlights of the Cov game? Was playing them on Tuesday. Cov didn't really play their best, got the job done. I'll be at the game on Tuesday. Keep us in touch with that one. Jay, Hull started their championship campaign. Falling apart, yeah. And we all got very excited when they won 4-1 on the opening day, didn't we, Hull? But not been good since. Right, keep your comments coming in. Please hit like on the stream and hit subscribe if you are new to the channel. We are going on to game number 4. God, I'm going to be here all day, aren't I? Sorry. Going long here today. And it was Huddersfield 1, Millwall 0. Get your comments in. Huddersfield 1, Millwall 0. They keep doing it, don't they, Huddersfield? We mentioned a possible open door below the top 3. We mentioned Coventry, Huddersfield and Blackpool in there. And Huddersfield, 10 points in 4 at home. And they keep scoring from set plays as well. They're set play gurus this season. And considering they're playing Millwall, who are a very decent set play side, impressive stuff. Let's take a look at this one. Get your comments in, you lot. Nichols in goal for Huddersfield. Pearson, Lees, Colwill, Toffolo, Thomas, O'Brien, Hogg, Sinani, Ward, and Holmes. I was going to say Birmingham then. For Millwall, there's all the Bs of Bartos, Bialkowski in goal. Ballard, Hutchison, Cooper, Leonard, Malone, Saville, Mitchell, Wallace, Ojo, and Bradshaw continues up top after a couple of goals last time out, and I can't remember who that was against. Only one in this one, and there is Jonathan Hogg on the near post, and it's another assist for Sorba Thomas. Let me get you a number. He has got 8 assists already. Incredible from Thomas. 8 assists in 15 games. That's outstanding. We normally look at people who are going to go 10 and 10, don't we? 10 goals, 10 assists. I don't see Thomas getting 10 goals, but he's really looking at a good double figures this season for the assists is Sorba Thomas. Millwall, they've gone from all draws to no draws in their last 6. Probably the Millwall fans would prefer that. I think it's, is it 3 defeats and 3 wins, or is it 4 wins and 2 defeats? It is 4 wins and 2 defeats. So look, that's 2 points per game, isn't it? Win, win, loss, win, win, loss. You would take that, but they do need to bounce back, Millwall, and they can't go back into draw territory. We know if they do get another 12 points from the next 6 games, probably be in the top 6. So the last 6 form is all right, providing they don't go back into drawing all the while and long runs without a win. Quick look at the numbers. Tells us that Huddersfield were good value, weren't they? Look at that. Only 1 shot on target for Millwall. 3 big chances to 0, 14 shots to 4, 6 shots to 1 on target. Tells me fairly viable win there for Huddersfield. Get your views in the comments. That's tremendous for Huddersfield, isn't it? I kept saying 3 or 4 games ago, and probably reasonably, Huddersfield, they've had a fairly easy start. Fixtures have been okay. Can't really be saying that after, nearly a third of the season and they're in the top 6 with a 24 points. So see how it pans out for Huddersfield, but impressive stuff. And are they going to completely screw me on my pre-season predictions? I think they're setting out. Huddersfield and Barnsley, I think, are going to be the ones I'm going to get the most wrong this season. Millwall, 21 points. Again, if we get the Millwall of the first 9 games, they'll slip down the table. If we get the Millwall of the last 6 games, they'll move up the table. Which one will we get? The decisive team that wins games and doesn't draw with a couple of defeats sprinkled in there, or will we get draw, pragmatic Millwall? Let me know what you think there in the comments. What do we got here? Jacob, quite a rough game to watch. Just happy we got the 3 points. Since after the top 2, it's really close. Noticed an issue in the away end and hope the person is okay. I'm starting to get a nosebleed up there. That may be a Coventry comment. Let me know, Jacob. No, it's probably not, because he's then followed up with, wouldn't be surprised if a Premier League team comes sniffing him. No, I wouldn't either. And they'll think they're that early in his development, these Premier League teams, that they'll argue we don't have to drop that much money on him because, he was at Boreham Wood less than a year ago. But there you go. David, worst performance in years for Millwall. Interesting. Tommy, our previous wins papering over the cracks. Row at football is terrible to watch. Interesting. Row at football, always terrible to watch, but it'll keep Millwall in the league, which is his remit every season. Get your polyfiller out. Indeed. Both sides had their chances. Millwall unbeaten in 2 coming into expected a win for Mill. Huddersfield took their chance. Win the game. I think Huddersfield reached the playoffs. Doors open. Doors open for anyone. And would any of you be surprised if the top 3 all had... look, let me paint it like this. The top 2 have over 90 points. The third place has high 80s. And then 4, 5 and 6 are all 10 points behind. Would anybody be surprised if it pans out like that? Huddersfield could be the underdogs. Keep winning home games. Keep scoring set places. How can set plays? I can't disagree. Can I? Reckon Sorba would love a bit of Russ Martin ball. Yeah, the problem is these players that are in form in the Championship now immediately, providing they're not in the last year of their contract, are worth 3 to 5 million quid straight away. And then if they play a couple of good seasons, up it goes and up it goes. So it's normally not for Championship teams unless they've got maybe a nice £45 million broadcast payment in their first year after relegation. It's normally Premier League teams, isn't it? Owen, 70 points minimum to reach the playoffs. The 10-year average is 72. But we've had... didn't Swansea get in with 70 a couple of seasons ago past Forest? We don't know whether we'll get a high or a low tide. Might be a low tide, and Owen might be right. You might get in with 70 this year if the top 3 are, way out in front and essentially lower the points of the entire rest of the division by beating everybody, which sometimes happens. I think we're going to get a stretched league table, though, this year. So you could get a low tide at the bottom and a high tide at the top. Also, factor in points deductions into that. It's fascinating how it's going to play out, isn't it? Right, let's move on. And how good are Blackpool, by the way? Sheffield United 0, Blackpool 1. And look, I know Sheffield United missed a lot of chances in this game, but Blackpool's form is just brilliant. 19 points in 8 games. So over a pretty big sample size, 8 games is a big chunk to judge form on. After a bit of a slow start, Blackpool are basically in sort of 2 point per game, well over 2 point per game title winning form, aren't they, over the last 8 games? Again, expectations and realities and all that parlayed in. But yeah, 3 wins on the bounce. It's a 4th home defeat already for Sheffield United. Only 3 teams in the league have lost more home games. 7 defeats already this season. And can I give you another 10-year average? And you may laugh if I'm talking about Sheffield United and automatic promotion. 8.6 defeats in a season for the last 10 years' worth of automatic promoted teams. 8.6, which may tell you automatic promotion for one of our year 1 parachute teams may be gone. And hey, look, down in 17th. Well, they're only 6 points off the playoffs, aren't they? Maybe that might be slipping away for Sheffield United if this form continues much longer. Get your comments in on Sheffield United 0, Blackpool 1. And again, we must suggest, I saw plenty of balls going into the box from Sheffield United, and just quickly flash up that 13 shots to 5 number. But it is what it is, and Blackpool are a good side, and they will beat you if you are not competent in your performance, and that is what happened. In goal for the Blades, Olsen, Bulldog, Egan, Davies, Stevens, Osborne, Fleck, Norwood, Gibbs, White returning after his suspension. Ndiaye and Mousse. Oh, did he get injured? Or is that just his normal stepping out at 74 minutes? For the excellent Blackpool, Grimshaw in goal. SofaScore has him the highest ranked player in the game there. Gabriel, Ekpiteta, Keogh, Husband, Anderson, the goal scorer, Dougal, Wintle, Bowler, Yates, and Medine. So they're doing that without Shane Lavery, who had been arguably their best player going into the past few games. And this is a brilliant goal, actually, by Keshi Anderson. What you don't see before that is a really good first touch, brings down a long ball, steps inside his man, bends that one into the top corner. Brilliant stuff. And look, I know I will get Blades fans telling me, hit the woodwork, no big chances in the game for Blackpool by the metrics. Don't get emotional about that, Blackpool fans. But it's a competition. You've got to score the most goals in the game, not create the most chances or have the most shots. And Blackpool, well, for pretty much over a year now under Neil Critchley, if you include the League One form, have been very good at winning football matches. And that's their 7th win this season in the Championship, and they're in the top 6. God, who would have had any of the League One promoted teams anywhere near the top 6 after 15 games? Brilliant stuff from Blackpool. And Sheffield United, yeah, it's just a bit of an aberration so far this season now, stretching out 15 games and only 18 points. Look, any type of Jokanovic Fulham type run that we've been mooting as a possibility, you know, would propel any team up the table. But they're leaving themselves a lot to do, and I think a lot of us thought 5 or 10 games bedding in, not 15. 3 defeats in the last 5 as well there for the Blades. Let's have a look here. Blackpool continue to upset the apple cart. How Sheffield United didn't win this with the amount of chances they had, and their front line is baffling. Unbelievable. Sheffield United 19 points behind the leaders. And I would agree with Mark. That is what Sheffield United should be. We should be judging Sheffield United against Bournemouth, Fulham and West Brom, not against Blackpool, given resource and recent history. So it's a long way back, isn't it? At what point do we trust our eyes and stats and not what this guy did in the past? When you get half a season through and you're a long way back, maybe, Lee, maybe indeed. Lewis, Blackpool on fire. Didn't expect that after seeing them on opening day. Blackpool 15th in League One in February. February? Were they? Goodness me. Rising to the top 6 in the Championship in October is just remarkable. Would there still have been a lot of games to play because of COVID? That's even incredible rise, doesn't it? Up the Tangerines, great kit. Blackpool was a surprise result. I said Lavery still injured. Did Grimshaw get an assist? Did he? Awesome. There's assists and there's assists, isn't there, Annie? But hey, an assist is an assist. A goal is a goal. Hey, not all goals are equal, are they? There's tap-ins and 30-yarders. So Jokanovic always started slow at Fulham, really didn't kick on until his 2nd season. Roller coaster ride at Sheffield United since their League One stint. Absolutely. And believe me, you'd rather have a few promotions and a few relegations than just abject nothingness. So there we go. Right, moving on. Derby 1, Blackburn 2. Get your comments in on this one. Good win for Blackburn. They'd been 1 point in 4 leading up to this run of back-to-back wins. And is it as simple as Ben Brereton Diaz getting back from international duty and back in form? And it's 2 goals for him in this one. Let's have a look at the teams. Get your comments in. For Derby, Roos in goal. We think, was Chris Kirchner there in the end? The possible new owner of Derby. Byrne, Jagielka, Davis, Forsyth, Sibley, Shinnie, Bird, Morrison, Josh Viak and Lawrence. For Blackburn, Kaminsky, Buckley, Lenihan, Van Heck, Aiden, Travis, Johnson, Rothwell, Dolan, Gallagher, and double goal scoring, Ben Brereton Diaz. How many goals has he got now? Let me just quickly get that number up because it's an outrageous total. He has got 12 in the last, in 14 starts, 12 goals for Ben Brereton Diaz. He'd be the top scorer, wouldn't he? I think if it wasn't. How many has Solanke got? Is he 11 in 13? What did he score in the opening? They might have 12 as well. We'll bring that number up later whilst I stop guessing it. Here are the goals. And Ben Brereton Diaz, good save initially by Allsop, but he forces it over the line. Goal line tech tells us it doesn't actually hit the net at the 2nd attempt. This is a really good goal. Have this one in mind for your goal of the round. Brereton Diaz, after sort of 3 or 4 one-touch passes, Tyrese Dolan slips him in from the angle. He's on form, isn't he? Brereton Diaz, and he slips it in for goal number 2 and goal number 12 of the season. Really good finish by Curtis Davis. Can't quite see, it's a bit blurry. That's his right leg up at shoulder height, and he hooks it in with a couple of Blackburn players back on the goal line. Excellent finish from Davies. But no more for Derby, and they don't score many goals, do they? The numbers tell us that this is a very viable win for Blackburn. 6 big chances to 1. 12 shots to 9, 3 corners to 2, 5 shots on target to 3. I think if you play the XG game, then you'd be perfectly satisfied with those numbers from a Blackburn point of view. Now, Derby, 5 points from 15 games, 31 to play. This is obviously with the deduction as well. If it is the 10-year average, they need 45 points. It could be lower if the table gets stretched by a aggressively good top 3. It could be lower if multiple teams, and I mean maybe 1 or 2 more, get points deductions this season. To be honest, only looks like Reading possibly will get points deduction this season. Everybody else, that will likely, given it normally takes a fair amount of time, likely to be in the future. Of course, Derby could get another points deduction. We don't know about that. So they would need 40 in their remaining 31 games. That would be 1.29 points per game this season so far. They're a fair bit back from that 1.13. So at the moment, on current form, Derby will go down, given the points per game and the 10-year averages. And most people consider a second points deduction, a profit and sustainability one, would be a death sentence. Let me know your thoughts on that. Derby got Brereton Diaz, once a red, always a red. Brereton is coming from Mitrovic. Maybe. I wouldn't put anything past him this season, Amy, but Mitrovic is just comically good, isn't he? I don't know what the Chileans have been feeding Diaz, but it's working. Never. What were the numbers beforehand? It was like 4 goals in 80 games or something, wasn't it? Ridiculous. Match should have been 4 or 5 at half time. The big chance count seems to say that as well, doesn't it? Dominant first half, second half frustratingly sat off, lucky to win in the end. Mark, Blackburn, my choice to win the playoffs. Interesting shout there. RE Blackpool, 15th in Feb. 15th after match week 22. Sensational second half. So maybe I shouldn't give them credit, Lenny, for a year of good football, but for 9 months of incredible football. There we go. If only Diaz joins Bournemouth, well, that might cost a pretty penny now, considering his Pepsi Max affiliations and worldwide superstardom. Right, let's get through this. My apologies for going so long. Today, game number 7, QPR 1, Forest 1. Get your comments in this one. We don't need to go too much because it was the watch along. If you want my detailed comments, look back elsewhere on the channel. QPR 1, Forest 1 on Friday night. This one, there are your teams. Dieng, Dickey, Devis, Barbe, McCallum, Adoma, Dazelle, Johansson, Chair, Willock, Dykes. For Forest, Samba, Worrell, Figueiredo, McKenna, Spence and Lowe, Yates and Colback, Lolly, Off, Johnson and Graben. And QPR only 11 points in the last 10. And I know it's a bit stodgy around there and kind of everyone's meandering towards playoffs, apart from sort of Blackpool at the moment. They're in real fine form, aren't they? That won't sustain a playoff challenge, 11 points in the next 10 games, and QPR will be more like, I would say, 11 for 12th than 8th where they are at the moment. So they need a bit of a pickup, and they keep conceding late goals against Forest this game, against Posh, against West Brom, against Bristol City. The outcomes changing in stoppage time or nearby. I think 88th minute against West Brom in all of those games. Forest still got 17 points in 8 games, so they're still arguably in good form over a large sample size, but only 1 point in the last 2 games. And maybe a lucky escape in this one. There's always an element of chance when it gets down to stoppage time. But I think a lot of people in the chat suggesting maybe QPR took the lead against the run of play in the first half, and then maybe Forest scored. You know, the halves kind of went a bit backwards in this one, but is what it is. A couple of penalty shouts as well for Forest in the first half. I think they edged the first half, didn't they? But Albert Adoma, brilliant assist, clipping that one in for Lyndon Dykes on the back post. But late on, and go watch back the watch along. Famous last words from me. About 20 seconds before this goal went in, I said, here we go into stoppage time. QPR don't want to get too deep and they need to stay cool. And I mean, look at that picture. And Jimmy Dunn, you can see, is going to try and block a ball, which he was never going to get a clean block on, throws his head at it. You can see him just to the right of the penalty spot there as he's looking. And he gets a vital touch on that to take it past Dieng and deflect into the corner. Maybe across the game, it was a drawy type game. A lot of the numbers are fairly similar. Okay, the big chance count has got 2 for QPR, but perhaps the penalty shouts for Forest in the first half mitigate that slightly. I don't know. I don't think either side. I suppose you've always got a right to be a bit grumpy if it's a stoppage time goal, haven't you? But QPR there in 8th position there, 22 points. And as I said, form not great, 11 points in the last 10. Forest are in brilliant form across a 8-game period, but you don't have much room for slippage after the awful start they've had. They're still well clear of the relegation positions, but they need to get back on another 2 points per game run if they want to in any way rise the table how they were in recent weeks. Let's do some comments on this one. QPR 1, Forest 1, never give up spirit. Probably should have had a penalty. 5 unbeaten on the road. Yeah, the away form's very good, isn't it? Houghton got sacked onto Sheffield United on Tuesday, which I think we can win. Well, Sheffield United aren't very good at home at the moment, are they? What else are we saying in here? Bad ref robbed Forest. I don't necessarily agree with that, Phil. I think maybe the second penalty call they could have got, but I think robbed is overstretching it. It's a difficult job, isn't it? QPR couldn't hold on. Colback hit that stroke like a traction engine. A slightly misfiring traction engine, knowing Colback's goal scoring record. Connor, Forest robbed. No, I don't agree. I think they were difficult calls for the ref to make. Could have been going either way. A lot of those thought QPR should have won. However, wouldn't begrudge Forest a point. A couple of penalty shouts were fair. Didn't think either were nailed on. They were down the middle, weren't we? We've debated those ones a lot, haven't we? Next 3, Cardiff, Blackpool away and Luton at home for QPR. They're not above Blackpool, but are they above Luton? They're above the other 2 teams in the table as things stand. Right, let's move on. What on earth was going on at Stoke 3, Cardiff 3? I was driving back from Leicester yesterday with this on, and I thought, 3-0 Cardiff, 9th successive defeat. They need a new manager and a good old sort out. And then they scored 3 goals in the space of, let me get my numbers right, 5 minutes between 66 and 71 minutes. Incredible. Judge it whichever way you want. Either incredible collapse by Stoke or incredible fight back by Cardiff. I think either position is a reasonable one there to conclude. Get your comments in on this one. If you're at the game, do let me know how the atmosphere was as those 3 goals flew in there. Here are your teams. Bursic in goal for Stoke. Wilmot, Suter, Chester, Timmon, Smith, Thompson, Sawyers, Allen, Fletcher and Brown up top. For Cardiff, under Steve Morrison, Smithies, McGuinness, Morrison, Nelson, Giles and G, Volks, Bakuna, Colwill, Evans playing off the front there. I'm not familiar with Kieran Evans. Anyone can help me out with him. Must be another youngster there. And Kiefer Moore up top for the Bluebirds. Right, so we can do this in 2 patches. 3 goals for Stoke and then 3 for Cardiff. Wilmot there, that's what you want from a right-sided centre-back, swinging across in for Jacob Brown, who I always call Jaden Brown. Nodding that one in. Good goal, that one. Good cross, good header as well, just getting across the front. And this is an excellent goal by Stephen Fletcher. I think it might take a snick off McGuinness, you can see there. But Fletcher absolutely larrups that one into the net. Now, I'd be interested in your views on whether Fletcher meant to chip this or not. I don't think he did, because he loses his balance just as he's hitting it. Whatever happens, the ball flies up in the air and over the head of Smithies. 3-0. When did that third goal go in? Yeah, 46 minutes. But here comes the comeback. One substitution, Evans out, Harris in. And here come Cardiff. This is a decent goal as well by Ruben Colwell, slid in by Giles. No, it's not a decent goal at all, is it, Ben? It's a horrible goalkeeping mistake. My bad. I thought he bent it into the far corner. No, right through Bursic. Should save it. Sorry. I take that one back. Here is Kiefer Moore. Nice little nutmeg feed for Mark Harris on this one. And then 1 minute later, look at that. Crossed in from the left-hand side by Giles. Another 2 assists for Ryan Giles, by the way. That's his early season form coming back. And Kiefer Moore knocks it in on the far post. Sorry, let me just give you a Giles assist number. I know he had 4 very early on. 7 assists for Ryan Giles in 10 starts. He thinks he's Sorba Thomas, everybody. What a comeback by Cardiff. We don't normally have a drawing team as our team of the week, but I think a few of you might vote for Cardiff just for the character after 8 defeats on the bounce. Look at that. 3 big chances to 0 as well. So the XG would probably have Cardiff winning this game, despite the fact they were 3-0 down. There you go. Lies, damn lies, and statistics. Stoke, 1 point in 4. That's not very good by any standards, is it? They've still got a very decent home record, but defeats are coming, aren't they? For Cardiff, first point in 9 games. And I think our mates at the second tier, it's been a long while since someone lost 9 on the trot in the Championship, and a little gap still between Cardiff and the relegation zone. They need a new manager in there and a fresh coat of paint. Don't they? What are we saying? Caretaker manager bounce. It started at 3-0 down, though, Mr. E. I know Mr. E's being sarcastic there with my new manager bounce theory. But yeah, what happened to the bounce as they were going 3-0 in? Mike, absolute shambolic at the back. Why Michael O'Neill keeps picking Chester, I'll never know. They do have Ostergaard as well. Every time opposition score against us, we just give up. Fans starting to turn on Michael O'Neill. Interesting. Steve Morrison, halftime time team talk. They did concede another goal after 46 minutes, though, David. But I do like Steve Morrison very much. Always liked him as a player. A mad 5 minutes from both. Mad to conceded, mad to get 3. Love to see it. Yes, you do. Phil thought his joker had been well played for a second. There we go. Got 100 quid with a mate that Stoke aren't going up this season. I think I might be all right. Maybe Ross, but just that door is wide open. Daniel, Kieran Evans, a very good young player. I look forward to watching him. I've not seen him before. Could be the fight back that sparks Cardiff season. Who knows? Stoke showing how fragile they are right now. But what is that? Stoke were good, weren't they? Yeah, hard team to work out. Dylan, Stoke fans were happy. Gave up after their 3. Daniel would love to see Bellamy. He always gets a shout as Cardiff manager, doesn't he? Reignite the passion which was shown in the last 45 minutes. The last 35 minutes, I think, in that game. Right, on we go. And it was Preston 2, Luton 0. Get your comments in on this one. Game number 9. Sorry, I'm trying to get through quickly. We are going to go slightly long. Don't worry, you'll still be able to watch Norwich and Leeds on Sky after I am finished. Luton had been on good form. They come a cropper at Preston, who had very much not been on good form. However, and what I will say about Preston, they're 7 undefeated at home, and that is back-to-back wins at Deepdale. And, you know, if you do want to make a move away from the table, if you can build your house on something, and it might be home form for Preston that could be that. Iverson in goal for North End. Vandenberg moving into centre-back. There he's normally right-back, isn't he? Bauer, Hughes, Earl, Barkhazen, McCann, Whiteman, Brown, Reich and Maguire. Sluga in goal for Luton. Lockyer, Bradley, Naismith, Bell, Bree, Clark, Ray, and Panzu, Cornick, and Jerome. 2 goals for Emil Rees in this one. Again, let me give you a number for him. 7 goals for the season for Rees in 13 starts. Now, I know everyone pales into the background with Mitrovic, but this could be some good totals from some strikers this season. I wonder if Rees can get up above 14, 15 in timely fashion. And 2 for him in this one. Now, I'll get your opinions. If he means this first one, it is one hell of a goal. I'm not sure he does, but I don't know if anyone's seen any interviews with Emil Rees since. Barkhuizen slides it down the line and he larrups it across the keeper into the top corner. I had a couple of looks, and my instinct, which may be wrong, is that he's just trying to drill it across the box. I could be wrong. Only he knows, and he's probably not going to tell us the truth. He's probably going to say, I meant that all day long. If he means that, that's the goal of the round, because he smashes it into the top corner from an impossible angle. Let me know your thoughts. I think the ref gets this one right. Look where the ball is. Just knocked across, and Bradley has dived in there and takes him down. Penalty, and Rees sticks it in past Sluga. I thought Sluga's quite good from penalties, isn't he? Thought he maybe could have done better. Did he get a hand on that? I can't remember everything. I've watched everything this morning. Either he dives over the top of it or he gets a hand on it or something. It's not the most firmly, ferociously hit penalty in the world. And okay, kind of unlike Luton performance, this bit of a drab one, that, isn't it? 14 shots to 8 for Preston, 7 corners to 5, 3 big chances to 1. And checking in with some Luton fans on Twitter, didn't really deserve anything from what my Luton friends were saying in this one. Look, can Luton bounce? They were in good form. If they can replicate the next 4 games, same as the last 4, they'll move back up the table. Again, it's bouncing back, as good old Nappers would say on his League One channel. Preston, can they build on 7 undefeated at home? Can they stop drawing, stick some wins on the board? Not many teams below them. However, there is a big gap between Hull and Barnsley, haven't been very good at all this season. Peterborough are awful away from home, and Cardiff lost 8 on the trot. So maybe Preston would be in more trouble if there was a higher tide down the bottom there, where, look, none of the bottom 5 are on a point per game. So, again, talking about that table getting stretched out, the top of the table is telling us high tide, the bottom low tide. We could get a stretched league table, in which case someone like Preston would be absolutely fine, wouldn't they? Dan, thank you so much. I would drink, but the coffee cup is empty. I've downed it all, which is strange considering how slow I'm going. But there we go. £10 from Dan Van Cleef on the Super Chat. Very, very kind indeed. Dan, extremely happy with that result. Reese's goal is that. Did he mean it, Dan? Did he mean it? Bad day at the office. That's what I'm hearing from Luton fans. Stephen, tallies with what you've said. We missed Berry and Adebayo. That's a fair point. 2 of the better players this season. Jonathan wasn't looking forward to this game as Alex Neil lost his job last season after the Luton game. Decent goal from Rees. Once again, good result. McCann, we call him McCann. Now, I normally hate these descriptions. That's quite good, Dan. Can I take that? McCante. I like that a lot, actually. Don Ram. Awful game yesterday. 9.5 hours on the coach, 15 hours a day. Oh, you poor thing. And I can tell you, I was on the M1 in the morning. It was battering it down as well. Kate, always good to hear from Kate on Luton. Missing Adebayo. Jerome well off the pace. Interesting. Lacked any drive forward. Yeah, it just sounds like an outlier for Luton, this performance. Sounds like they were a lot worse than they usually are from what the Luton fans were saying. Silly Bradley, don't understand why he did it. Yeah, he just dived in there. Preston coming to the South Coast Wednesday night. Yeah, good luck if that's Bournemouth. Yeah, Bournemouth next game is probably defeat. Be at the game anyway. God, how long is that journey? Preston down to Bournemouth. Lenny, what are you doing? We call our McCann McCan't. I think McCante was better. There we go. Dave, best side to visit. Dave, we'll get there in just... No, we've done that one, haven't we? Anyway. Right, game number 10. Sorry, I'm going longer and longer. Boro 0, Birmingham 2. Get your comments in on this one. Boro 0, Birmingham 2. I'll try and wrap up the show inside of an hour and a half so you can go and watch Leeds and Norwich. You lot. Get your comments in on Boro 0, Birmingham 2. Good win for Birmingham. Boro, can't get a read on them whatsoever. I've said that for about 3 weeks now. I haven't got a clue what I'm going to get from Boro. What I will say about Birmingham is since Lee Bowyer did his tweaking and maybe took Harley Dean out of the team, and I thought they were quite unlucky against West Brom. I thought they could have got a draw in that one, at least. They got 7 points in 4. So I'm calling this a reasonable upward trend now for Birmingham since the international break there. And 7 points in 3 now is very, very good indeed. And the Boro, and this is how I can't get a read on Boro, the last 6 games have all been 2-0. But I think they've lost 2 of them and drawn 4 of them. Is that right? Very strange form from Boro this season. Anyway, get your comments in the chat. There are your teams. Lumley, Dave to forget for him, I think. McNair, Bamba, Peltier, Hernandez, Tavernier, Crooks, Howson, Piero, Spora, Ikpeazu. Interesting there, managing to get Spora and Ikpeazu in the team as a front 2. I think that's only reasonably a recent innovation, isn't it? Sarkic in goal for Blue, Sanderson, Roberts, Friend, Pedersen, Graham, Sunic, Gardner, McGree, Hogan, and Deeney. Here are the goals, and we don't like to dig out players, but this is so bad from Lumley, isn't it? Look at that. Look, I know Mark Roberts has got a good spring, but I watched this back a couple of times. He's got so long to look at this and come, and he just mistimes his run, his jump, his punch, everything. And if you do that, it's just a simple, like you're flicking the ball out, for a centre half to a fullback or something. It's an easy header for Roberts and into the net. Really bad goalkeeping from Lumley. And if I can't get a read on Boro, I can't get a read on Scott Hogan, brother, because this is a good goal, and he misses sitters, and he's running back. He's got 2 players challenging him. Bouncy ball to control. He's got to hit it first time, running away from the goal. He scores that one. Give him a first-time shot from 8 yards, and he misses it. Strange. Boro, a strange team. Hogan's a strange player. He scores when I don't expect him to. He doesn't score when I do expect him to. But he did score in this one, so well played, Hogan, brother. And it's a 2-0 win for Birmingham. Nice and efficient. 2 big chances created, 2 big chances taken. One of them was missed. I'm assuming Hogan's wasn't. But maybe the header wasn't. I don't know. Whichever, they didn't concede any big chances, and they get the clean sheet and they get the victory. Birmingham. Boro obviously were in the 21 club last week and up. I think they're up in the playoff spots, weren't they? And they dropped down fairly dramatically this week. Birmingham, 19 points from 15. Can they build on this back 3 and Harley Dean not being in the team, etc., etc.? Let's get your comments on this one. Stephen, hopefully that's an omen. Boro are on a downer. Well, Stephen, they're either going to beat you 2-0 or you're going to beat them 2-0 at the moment. John, first half was poor from both sides. Second half only team in it. Deeney and Hogan, brother, starting to look like a decent partnership. Also pleasing to win without Chong, who is injured. Very well said. Hopefully Hogan can score more goals, get his confidence up. Does seem to be a confidence player for sure. Doesn't he? Right. 2 to go. I'll turn the page. Swansea 3, Posh 0. Get your comments in on this one. Swansea 3, Posh 0. And I think I called this Peterborough to go back to their poor away form. And indeed they did. And Swansea are in pretty decent nick now. A reasonably long-term upward trend. 13 points in 7 for Swans. And they've kind of gone gradually, haven't they, from, losing and then drawing a bit and now starting to win. And Pirro, very, very good. 5 goals and 3 assists from Pirro in the last 8 games. 8 goal contributions for Pirro in the last 8 games. I said that the first time I saw him. It looks like there's something about him. I said that about Neil Critchley as well, actually. So amongst a million things I get wrong, there's a couple I got right short term. Anyway, 3-0 Swans. Get your comments in on this one. Hamer in goal. Bennett, Norton, Manning, Bidwell, Laird, Grimes, Smith, Nitcham, Patterson, and Pirro. 4, Posh, Cornell, Thompson, Edwards, Beavers, Burrows, Carnu, Norburn, Taylor, Grant, Dembele, Smodic. And it was back-to-back wins from Peterborough going into this one. So they've had a little push up the table, and they were at points parity. It was 14 from 14. They need to just stay in and around that 1 point per game, don't they, Peterborough? But it needs to be a bit more consistent than, oh, here's some back-to-back wins. Oh, but by the way, we're awful at home, and here's a quick couple of, points here. Needs to be a little bit more sort of viable over more games. But hey-ho, let's have a look at the goals in this one. And this is, you'd love to see this if you're a Swansea fan. One wing-back, Laird, crossing it to the other wing-back, both inside the penalty box. Bidwell virtually on the goal line and sticks it in. And we said about the Swansea wing-backs, they play ungodly high up the pitch. But if Swansea have the ball and they're going to get output like that, then that's absolutely fine. Laird with the assist for a Bidwell. Here comes the second. Or is that the third? That one might be the second. Yeah, there you go. It says 1-0 in the picture. Got me ducks in the wrong order there, or not in a row. Joel Pirro smacks that in. Go and wind that one back and look for an elite piece of shahousery from Jake Bidwell, who knocks the ball away from Cornell, the keeper, to stop him taking a quick goal kick. Then he rushes it, and then they give the ball away from the goal kick, or 2 passes down the line, and then Swansea score from it. But like I say, Pirro, 8 goal contributions in the last 8 games. Excellent work. But here comes goal number 3, which I think I've already put up. Oh, God, I'm getting in a muddle here. There we go. Sorry, they're in the wrong order. Nitcham from an assist from Joel Pirro, and he slots that in right-footed for 3-0 to Swansea. Nice and comfortable. Look at that. 5 shots to 1 on target. Peterborough not really creating a great deal, and go figure, 7 defeats in 8 away from home for the Posh this season. There's the table. And look, we've had a few teams kind of shoot up the table and shoot back down recently. I'm thinking maybe like Blackburn have gone down and then up. Maybe Middlesbrough went up then down. I'd much rather be Swansea and consistently knocking out the points rather than a quick run of, a couple of wins here. And so I think we might see Swansea in the top half fairly soon. Although, look, their form is middling, 5-5-5 on the wins, draws and losses. But yeah, there's good signs there. Peterborough are out of the bottom 3. They're 5 points clear. That's what back-to-back wins will do when you've got teams on 5, 8 and 9 points. And I will say, while they're 1 game from a point per game, they're viable to survive. But, God, they need to improve away from home. Let's get some comments in here. Connor should have had 5. Dominated as expected. Running out of words to compliment Pierre. I know he's excellent, isn't he? Move on to Cov. Is that away? And couple of tricky games there. If the Coventry game's away, which I think it is, a really good barometer of where they are. Swansea's season well and truly underway. Posh didn't touch the ball until they kicked off from that goal. Did they not? Deary me. When it works, it's incredible. Best football, Amy, Swansea have played in years. Could be scary with a few more recruits and a bit more time. Exactly. Give it time. But you can now argue a very viable trend over a reasonable sample size. Can't you? 2 tough away games for Swansea, which will tell us a lot. Exactly. If they get 3-4 points from those 2 games, you'll say, looking good, pretty good. New season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, episode 2 tonight. Big fan of the Rust Revolution. Laird was a class above at MK last season. I think Swansea may be playoff winners. Have been it the last 2 seasons, haven't they? Worried about losing Grimes. Did he get injured, did he? Yeah, or what, in terms of being sold, maybe. God. Pirro greater than Mitrovic. Can we stop this? Don't stop comparing with Mitrovic. You've had it with Solanke and now Pirro. Again, it's not a zero-sum game. every side is allowed a good striker, and there are a few in the division. Let's celebrate all of them rather than playing them off against one another like a child with divorced parents playing the parents off against one another. They're all very, very good, and let's enjoy all of them. All the excellent strikers. Right, last one up here. Sorry, I've gone so long, but thank you for sticking in if you've done the whole hour and 15 minutes so far. And it was Bristol City 2, Barnsley 1. How about that? Bristol City win at home for the first time since January. A much vaunted stat, but hey, it's been building up for 9 months or whatever it is. And they beat, can I call them hapless Barnsley? I can call them hapless Barnsley at the moment, who are in terrible form, aren't they? 7 straight defeats for Barnsley, 13 without a win. Mick McCarthy on the 8th straight defeat got fired, didn't he? Marcus Schopp has very, very much 2 games to get some points, doesn't he? International break, not much point firing now, although could gain another couple of games. But I cannot see Schopp if he doesn't win. He needs 2 points at least from the next 2 games, doesn't he, to keep his job? I think. I just can't see him surviving. And if they lose the next 2, he's surely done, isn't he? Anyway, Bristol City win this one 2-1. Bentley in goal. Pring, Atkinson, Callas, Tanner, Masengo, James, Backinson, Vyman, Martin, and Wells. For Barnsley, Collins, Anderson, Hellick, Kitching, Williams, Britton, no Styles there. Gomez, Moon, Cole, Woodrow, and Iseka. So, okay, a new look kind of front 3 now with Iseka seemingly ready to start. Here are the goals. If I click on the right picture this time. And they take the lead, Barnsley, in this one. Cole, who scored in the last game, gets the assist for Iseka. I was going to say Barnsley don't know what to do when they're winning, but they've not really been in front very much this season, have they? Here is Vyman with the equalising goal. He is fed through by Naki Wells on 42, and they actually managed to go in at halftime behind. Killer for the confidence. Vyman gets his second here, cut back by Chris Martin, who you can see in the picture. And it is stroked home by Vyman, who it feels like he's got like 3 doubles this season. Let me check my numbers on Vyman. Yeah, he's got 6 goals and 2 assists in 15 starts. So he's played every game, every minute by the look of it. And he's got 3 doubles. Interesting. He's either very good or he doesn't score, Vyman. Maybe that's not fair, but there you go. And it's the first home win in 17. They've done everything bar win. They've lost the goals off players' backsides. They've been 2-0 up and lost. They've been winning going into stoppage time 1-0 and lost. But finally, Bristol City get the victory. And if you look at the numbers, you'd be quite annoyed if you're a Barnsley fan. Look, 18 shots, 7-4 on target, 9 corners to 3, 3 big chances to 2. But with those numbers, a team with no confidence will not win. And I mean, again, like Lee was talking about the eye test versus the numbers, you know, even if you have chances and you're in games, you will still lose. I've seen it firsthand when my team Ipswich stunk out the division. They would have good moments and good 10, 20 minutes, but they wouldn't score and then they would concede immediately. That's what happens when you're fragile and short of confidence. I'm afraid, rack up whatever numbers you want until a bit of confidence and game savvy comes in. You won't do anything with those situations. So Bristol City, 19 points now from 15, 15th place in the table. They're just going to want to sort some home form now and use this as a foundation. And Barnsley, that is a horrible points total, 8 from 15. Of course, they would be bottom if Derby hadn't had the off-pitch issues and were deducted 12 points. 7 defeats on the trot, and I just don't think Schopp survives the week without 2 or maybe 3 points accrued. Let's have a look here in the chat. Jeff, The fans were terrific. They saw us through. You'd have thought we'd won the league, hopefully start winning at home now. Well, good on the fans. I'm sure they would have turned with a late equaliser, but hopefully they can build something now. True, Ben. Hate it when football chat turns into top trumps. Yeah, it does very, very quickly, doesn't it? Liam, it wasn't pretty yesterday, but huge relief to finally win at home. Fans in the last 10 minutes. That's what you need to do when your team's got a confidence issue at home. Just keep chanting. Don't make the players nervous. They're nervous enough already, aren't they? Rhoda Luck, says Lewis, finally stopped the rot. Daniel, I've had enough. Become so interested. We're heading back to League One. Phil, we battered Bristol City in the last 30 minutes. Just wouldn't go. Hit the bar. Cole missed from 18 inches. I can't speak to the handball. I haven't seen this. Derby, then Hull. Is that the next two? Oh, my God. I did not realise that. Couple of big games then. Phil, 95% for Shop to go. Definitely not our greatest performance, Annie, but a win was the most important thing. Barnsley probably deserved the point. We were clinical and showed character. I'm not reading that last bit. That's ridiculous. Callas and Atkinson, Colossus at the back. Callas, Masengo and Vyman, standout players. Rest struggled indeed. Get to the bookie shops. P45 ready. I just want to hone in on those two games. Yeah, look at that. Let me put that up on the screen. Very good shout by Phil. Barnsley play the other two teams in the bottom three. That is incredible. I mean, those of you who believe in the new manager Bounce will say, sack him now. But surely, that now's the time, isn't it? Can he get 2 or 3 points in those games? He's got to get something, Marcus Shop, hasn't he? Right. Thank you so much, you lot. It's been a long show. Hang with me and we'll do team of the round and goal of the round. And then, you can go and watch Leeds and Norwich on Telebox. So first up. Okay, very, very quickly, we'll do team of the round and goal of the round. Now, there's a lot of winners. There weren't many draws. I think only 2 games drawn. And we can have an argument that one of the drawing teams could be team of the round because they came back from 3-0 down. As always, please, please, please do not just vote for your team because you support them and they won. Not because they won, but because you support them and they won. Remember, it's not my daughter should be the lead in the school play. Let's try and have a credible poll here on who the team of the round should be, not just who you support. So you can vote for the team you support, but please don't be as transparent as to just vote for them because you support them and haven't considered the fortunes of any other team in the world, like a lot of football fans do. I know you lot are better than that, aren't you? So winners, Fulham. Bristol City surely is a good shout this week. Blackburn, Huddersfield, Coventry, Birmingham, Preston, Blackpool is possibly a good shout. I'm throwing Cardiff in because they've been so rubbish and they drew from 3-0 down. Swansea and Bournemouth have been outstanding. Look, I'm bored of the teams at the top. So I would say either Bristol City, Blackpool or Cardiff would be my team of the round. But you, of course, can vote for who the hell you please. Just don't do it based on the fact that you support one of the teams and they happened to win. Right, let's see if we can get a consensus here. Swansea, Blackpool, Cardiff or Blackpool, Bournemouth, Preston, Cardiff, Blackpool. I'm stopping the count and going for Blackpool. We had a little bit of a lead there for Blackpool, so I'm stopping the count there. Blackpool, I think they've been it a few times this season, haven't they? Blackpool are our team of the round. Okay, here comes goal of the round again. Get your shouts in. Please don't just vote for a player that plays for the team you support because you got a picture of him on your wall. Let's get a good sample of what we think the goal of the round was. Couple of suggestions from me. Blackpool, Keshi Anderson, although they've already been team of the round. So maybe spread the love a bit, but great goal by Anderson. For sure, the second Blackburn goal by Ben Brereton Diaz was a very fine goal. What else did we like? If Stephen Fletcher meant the chip, then possibly Stephen Fletcher's first goal was good as well. If Emil Reich meant that first goal for Preston, then all bets are off, God damn it. That would have been a hell of a goal, wouldn't it? Any others? Pass. Let me know. Let's see if we get a consensus in the chat. Goal. Oh, my God. Feels like my house is about to blow down here in Bedfordshire. Godspeed. It's been nice knowing you all up here on the top floor. Right. Goal of the round here. Anybody? Any votes for anybody? Let's have a look here. Brereton, Diaz, Reese, Hogan, Diaz, Reese. Not Preston's. He didn't mean it. Well, the chat disagrees. I think we've got enough for Emil Reese. So let's assume the best in Reese. I'll stop the count there and assume he meant it. And he slammed that one into the top corner. Right, there you go. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Sorry I've waffled a bit today, an hour and 25 minutes. Maybe I should learn to be a bit more concise. Thank you to Russ, who is our fan sponsor. Was a phone now friend, currently on loan to the Premier League for a year. We thank Russ very much. Please hit subscribe. Please hit like before you go. Enjoy the football this afternoon. Norwich and Leeds as a dearly departed derby should be a good one. That one over in Norfolk. And 3-game week. So we will be back tomorrow night for the preview show of round 16 and the predictions. And I'll be on Blue Monday tonight as well, hence why we're early today. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And it's a lovely, big, gigantic, huge over and out from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.